incredibly awesome. And the last one that I use is Divine Glow. It is essentially a buff and a debuff combined into one. All allies in that area will gain increased damage resistance, and as long as you put at least one charge of divinity on it, you don't have to spam like all 3 divinity charges or anything like that. You just gotta put one. It will reduce the enemy's damage. So that kind of goes to why I do my rotation the way that I do, is so I can get that one charge. And again with Divine Glow, not so much here, more along the lines of here. It is a damaging encounter. It does apply the stack of condemned, so it does count towards those 5. And I do have Astral Shields leveled up, however, I mean, I've heard it works for a lot of clerics, but unfortunately I can't seem to get it to work for me. Main reason being, this is a 30% damage debuff on an enemy, right? And the damage resistance cap is actually 80%. So a lot of tanks, practically, you know, they're going to be pretty close to that 80% anyhow. Giving them an extra 30% could be useful, but you can also give them that 30% by, you know, taking it away from the enemy, essentially. So I don't find Astral Shield very practical. It just doesn't seem to work for me. Anyhow, I'll just kind of show you a little bit, right? So that little bitty 5% of AP gain for heals, right? Everybody in the party is going to be getting that. And Divine Glow also gives a heal. So, I mean, as you can just watch the AP just build up just by a couple of heals. And then it'll heal fast. So yeah, as you can see, that's huge. And then, bam, when you start out at 25%, that much less further to be going. Here you go, Blessing of Battle. See, he has a little... Anybody who hits him while the Blessing of Battle is active will gain extra power. And also, too, you know, they don't just go to one. You can sit here and target as many different things as you want. And, you know, the duration on him is quite long. But see, the Astral Shield is the same thing. You can keep these encounter debuffs up on enemies, you know, for a little bit. You're definitely not, you know, hurting for time. So, I generally tend to flip back and forth between multiple targets with my abilities. This is just kind of the at-will zone. I haven't even added any of the other things into the rotation yet. See, I mean, everything is completely debuffed. At 4, I can completely just recycle it. Astral Shield, Blessing of Battle. 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 Okay. Enough playing around with that, but you get the idea. You don't have to target just one thing. You want to try to get as many debuffs on as many things as possible. That way you're kind of maximizing the effect. However, I will say this, a lot of times you'll be in a boss fight or whatever, you'll probably just want to keep focus on the boss. And anybody who needs healed or whatnot can turn their focus back to that boss, because in boss fights it can be kind of tedious with, you know, 20 different ads. You're definitely not going to debuff all the ads. So you might as well just stay on the boss. So I'm going to kind of do a slow motion now of how I roll my encounter powers. First thing that happens before anybody even runs in, let me actually, I'm just going to go ahead and reset this. I'll wait for this to run out, just so you can kind of see how my cycle affects AP as well. Alright, it's out. So before anybody runs in, I'm going to hit with the Bastion of Healing. And everybody's going to run in, and the tank's going to come up right here, and he's going to start smacking them. About the time the tank runs in, you're going to want to hit Divine Glow. see. Divine Glow, give me a buff, then a debuff. Right after that, you're going to want to go into your encounter powers, another Divine Glow. Right after that, going to be Break the Spirit, and now you have 3 charges of Empowered, Break the Spirit again. So, that was 2 Divine Glows and 3 Break the Spirits, right? So, that gets our 5 right there. So, just with that cycle, you have gained that much AP and given the 5 stacks of Condemn to give that to everybody in your party. So, when you're done with that cycle, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to sit here and ask the field, Blessing in Battle. Ask the field, Blessing in Battle. Oops, look, there's all 3 charges of Divinity, so we repeat the cycle. I'm just going to repeat this cycle a couple times just so you get the idea. I just did it backwards that time, but it's okay. I still got at least one of the Divine Glows within the entire period. And my cooldowns are up. Okay, that's your standard set, right? Every so often you're going to notice, hey, my party is getting really, really low on hit points. So, when that's the case, what you want to try to do is you're going to want to try to put your divinity all the way up. And you're going to want to hit something like this, and then you're going to look at your divinity and then go ahead and pop your bastions of healing. And your fortune right here, fully empowered, is going to give them 30% of their hit points back. Which I know doesn't really seem like a lot, but, you know, that can make a difference. You have the 30% plus the other, you know, 3 bastions of healing to use as well. So that's your healing rotation. Is bam, 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 and I'm gonna have to wait for 2 seconds to sit in the fast bam. The reason why I don't just spam the healing rotation is because of this. So, let me hit that. Right? And there's no healing over time. So, therefore, 0 AP gain when you do this. So, I tend not to do it that way. You can still hit that empowered though. And get everybody AP. Which actually brings me to a third method for, you know, when you cycle your abilities as well. If you're having problems keeping buffs up, if this doesn't seem to last long enough to you, you can actually go Ashman Healing, Divine Glow, take Spirit, and then you can actually wait that 6 seconds out, and then go Divine Glow again. What that'll do is that'll actually give you a longer duration of Divine Glow. However, I don't recommend that, because Break the Spirit is just so much more efficient on a boss fight than a Divine Glow is. You gotta worry about only hitting the boss with that, as opposed to trying to hit everybody with Divine Glow. Anyhow, I know, it's a lot to think about, but that's exactly how my character is. It's definitely not for the most part. There's a lot to consider and a lot to do. Anyhow, I hope that this helps anybody who is planning on building a cleric. Thank you, everybody.